Yeah, she was a coward, but she conquered. You see me, I say, so come join. The inspiration and the edification, you see me, I say, with the tubes of humor. You see me, I say, endorsed by ladies, you see me, I say, uplifting and inspiring, you know. This is original Little Kirk say, hey, Cleopatra, them can't hold it down no time. Good over evil, set it! But it never yet pets it. Hey, beauty queen, you know, straight, you know. Cleopatra, whoa, oh, oh, yeah. Most I bless you, oh, true beauty queen. Don't damn it at the scene now, yeah. Cleopatra, tell them can't hold Pacha down. You see the most I got alone him with a triple crown. Don't can't hold Cleopatra down. She keep burning them with words, poems and a song. Joy, can't hold Pacha down. At least I see us thing this at no merry-go-round. No merry-go-round. Them can't hold her down. Check it out. Yes, we got the most accurate part right now. Session and just a shot like it's out the door. Yeah, him give her a clean hands and a pure heart. You see, she got it from the start again. But her heart it clean like a whistle. Devil over coming out with a shine out with a face and there. Well, even this one of the most like children, Cleopatra, yo, you rule from the beginning. Then they can't hold Pacha down. You see the most I alone him with a triple crown. You can't hold beauty queen down. She keep burning them with words, poems and a sound. Joy, can't hold Pacha down. At least I see the thing. This is no merry-go-round, no merry-go-round. Cleopatra tell them that we should venture the storm to the rain. Thank you for blessing. Moses always be there. You will ride in his Then can't hold Pacha down. You see the most I got alone him with a triple crown. You can't keep her down. She keep burning them with words, powers, and a sound of lips in the ladies. Oh, standing up for the babies. She will awaken. Welcome. Happy Mother's Day. It's Sunday, guys. Sunday. It's a special day today. We honor our super moms. I hope that everyone, especially our moms, are having a grand day. Be blessed, live, love, laugh. It is Mother's Day. Hi, Talisa. How are you doing today?
Good afternoon, everyone. Happy Mother's Day to all the wonderful mothers out there. Happy Mother's Day, Miss Cleopatra.
No. I'm not Miss Cleopatra. I'm
okay. Happy birthday, Mom.
Happy birthday or Mother's Day?
Oh my God.
Okay.
Happy Mother's Day, Mom. And as you said before, I hope the day has been treating all mothers wonderful.
Yeah, so we have our special guest today who is also a mother. She's coming up, Mrs. Donna Davis-Nunes. And as you could see from our pre-advertisements leading up to today, she was diagnosed with primary multiple sclerosis. Does anyone know what that is, or is anyone living with multiple sclerosis? But you're going to hear a super story from this mother today. She is a professional, creative innovator. Oh my God, I'm sure you can't wait. So right now I wanted to use this time Tell a friend to tell a friend to tell another friend that Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, we are live with your host and co-host, Queen Cleopatra and Talisa. Text somebody, tag somebody, tell somebody. Don't keep us a secret. We will be right back. All right. Thank you for staying tuned with us. And if you're joining us for the very first time, we welcome you to Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. Have you ever felt that you're at your wits' end and you feel like you're left all alone and there's no one there to care for you or there for you? Have you ever felt that there's no way out of your situation and you're wondering who will inspire you or what an inspiration can do? Well, what we do here at Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, we're here to tell our stories along with our special guest, and not only our stories, but to help you in whatever way we can with whatever resources that we can. If we don't have it, we will find it to help you get you out of your valley experience. And so today, we have a lovely mother, Mrs. Donna Davis-Nunes, with us this evening, and she is going to tell you a little bit about herself, and then we're going to get deep into it. Happy Mother's Day to you, Mrs. Donna, and welcome to Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring.
Happy birthday. Happy Mother's Day, Miss Donna.
Thank you, and the same to all the mothers, whether you have kids or you have little four-legged ones. They're family, and we all love them just the same. And it's very nice to be a guest of honor, and I have quite a bit to share. I have one son, all grown up and lives away, so he's on his own now. And yes, he did call me to make sure. Husband of many, many years, passed away. He passed away in Republic of Panama. That's where we retired and where we wanted to spend our many, many days of joyfulness. But he left early. I shouldn't say early. He was called before I wanted him to go.
Okay, we just want to say condolences, and I'm sorry to hear.
Yes, 2016 he went away, but each day is still joyful for me, and even my mom who passed away is still joyful because I think of the many happy days I have, and I'm just puzzled at people who get down and out when they say their mothers have died. No, think of the joyful times you had with her, not think of the negative. And I have been around the world, lived many places, trained in Jamaica, moved to Scotland. Little girl from Jamaica picked up her suitcase and went on to Glasgow, Scotland. Didn't know where I was going or anything, but I had an open mind and I spent some time there and did training. So I'm a nurse trained of many years, and I was a midwife. And then I decided, okay, I need more. Moved on to London, trained as in England, you'd say a theater nurse. And Jamaica, you say theater. But in America, I had to learn a new language, operating room. So I had to learn. And I tell you also, language is different. English is not just English. You have American English, you have British English. And for Scotland,
quite so
different English. So I lived here. I lived one of those who came to New York, moved from New York, and decided to come to Atlanta. I just wanted to see what the South was like. I knew nothing about the South. And I've been Uh, Living here ever since and just learning a lot and about myself too because I had issues where I had what they call restless legs. I don't know if anybody has heard of restless leg syndrome, but that's what I was suffering with and couldn't keep still. And the doctors didn't know what was wrong until I fell at work one day. They did uh, a scan, MRI, and they saw the lesions on my spine. And this showed that I have multiple sclerosis. I have primary progressive multiple sclerosis, which is the rare kind. 85% of people have relapsing, remitting multiple sclerosis. Today, they could be in a wheelchair. Tomorrow, they're running a marathon. Primary progressive, when you go down, you stay down and you go down even more. And since I've been diagnosed, I moved from a cane to a walker to a wheelchair. In house, I don't need the wheelchair. I have what a new gadget that came out, an up walker. I can hold on and drag along. And I make the best of each day. And I stay joyful when I'm not in pain. If I'm in pain, I'm not going to be happy. But I finally found something. I'm now with a neurologist, third neurologist before anybody could help me because I'm just unique
Yeah.
in every way. And I, I just, it's a neurological condition. And growing up, I don't know anybody in our community with multiple sclerosis. Never heard of it till I went to nursing school. Went to nursing school, and in the books, it didn't say people like me have multiple sclerosis. It was Northern European, mainly women, who had this condition. And this condition affects the brain and the length of the spinal cord. And it goes all the way down where the outer lining of the spinal cord has been stripped. They don't know the cause and nobody can tell. But with people intermarrying, and there's no race that is straight, we intermingled with different races. And this is how we get different conditions. Yeah. And my lesions are in the low part of my spine, the lumbar area of my spine where I sit. So this is why I cannot walk freely. And one spot in my brain, and I pray to the Father every day, do not let that one spot interfere with my thought process because I can think even sharper than my young sister.
Wow.
I'm spot on. And every day I wake up, and that's my golden rule. I pray day, I pray night. And I ask him, yes, my legs are gone, but please let me have my brain. So I bargain. And uh, whatever happens ahead of me, it's left up to him. I don't tell him what to do. I don't ask him what to do. I just say, it's your will.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
And uh, I don't know, the progressive, primary progressive, remember that. Because when people ask you, oh, you have MS, I don't just have MS. There are different types of MS.
Right.
And it's good to be informed. So I'm informing everyone out there that if you never heard of MS, yes, there's MS and there are different types of multiple sclerosis. So I say, if anybody is collecting money for research, remember me.
Okay.
Remember me. Yes? So my immune system is eating away the protective covering. You know, it's like an electrical cord.
It's like the myelin sheet, the covering.
Yes. And the myelin sheath is eaten away in different areas It's not the whole area that has been stripped,
Yeah.
different portions. So when the signal is sent from the brain, it doesn't reach where it's supposed to reach. Like it's not getting to my legs to say, remember, you used to
Right.
walk?
So it's like the parasympathetic with the sympathetic, where the connection, if you like, you see someone is hungry, the connection, the message is not being sent directly. So it's like,
Yes,
copy.
yes. Just like my arms, the left one wants to leave me, so you know that the message is not getting there to tell my left hand. See, I can use my right hand and I can do this and do that, but my left hand, where is it? It's sitting on my lap, and it's a lot of brain power for me to say, okay, lift, lift.
Yeah.
It's hard work. It is not easy. Yeah. And even just to move, I have to say, like if I'm being taken out, I'm going into the car and they have to say, which leg do I lift? And I have to say, lift the left. I lift the left and they move like a doll, like you're walking a doll. I remember when I used to have dolls and I used to try to make them walk. And I would put their left first, and I would put their right first, and things like that. I had a doll called Tracy, and Tracy was not anything modern because way back when we had dolls, they didn't have hair, and or their hair was glued onto their body, and the arms and everything. You had to make it move. So this is what my caregivers. I have two caregivers. One is my sister. The other is my sister-in-law. They both do very well. And why it's good to have two caregivers? Nobody gets stressed, nobody gets overworked, and they both can go places with me and share the joy. And I love going away with them. They love the beach. And when I go, I'm happy that they can go off and go enjoy themselves. And what I found out, not many people know, they have beach wheelchairs. And wherever I go, I rent a beach wheelchair and I can ride along the beach. Those big tires that let you ride in the sand because there's nowhere I can walk in the sand and I can't get in the water. I can ride and get to where I'm going along the beach. And everybody stopped to look because it's not well known. And I'm trying to get hotels, even in Jamaica, to have beach wheelchairs for when folks like me, because now I'll be called like a foreigner, but I'm never a foreigner in my homeland to me. But I'm trying to uh, get them informed to help people like me so I don't stay locked indoors. Years ago, what they did with folks like me, I used to read where they would put you in the attic and that's where you would stay. But now I get out and I'm joyful. I like to meet people, talk with people, and have a jolly time. Yeah. So it's good. And they measure your disability according to a specific scale where it's designed. It's called an expanded disability status scale, EDSS, and it tells you what stage you are. And I'm way past halfway mark because now that I cannot walk, I'm way past it. But as I stay joyful and I'm very happy. Most people start off where they lose their vision. I did not lose my vision. And this is why the doctors had problems trying to figure out what is wrong with her. I used to work in the operating room and I worked in what's called the eye room, where we did eye surgery. And the sutures in those rooms as thin as a strand of hair. And I was still seeing to load those for the doctors. And it even now, I can still thread my needle.
Haha. That's great. Wow.
So it
Awesome.
did not affect me like what people say normal. No, my new normal is very different from the normal for others. And I've learned to live with my new normal. Yeah.
Right.
So
When it's a story, this is a story, and I'm sitting and I'm listening to you, and Donna, you're just so brave, upbeat. You're still vivacious irrespective of what you're going through, and that's what I was talking about yesterday. We had a pre-Mother's Day show wherein we were actually giving to a parent who we lost some weeks ago. She was a recipient of a donation that we give out in January. She was diagnosed with breast cancer, and I was saying to her cousin, who were handing over a special gift, because it's Mother's Day, and the fact that she was someone who I cared about, even though I didn't know her, just knowing that she was diagnosed with a sickness. And sickness, we don't call sickness on ourselves. But sometimes most people, when they hear certain diagnosis, the fear alone is what get them out. The fear alone is what they sit and they don't bother to think about life anymore. They just start concentrating on the sickness. And as a nurse, happy Nurse Week to everyone, and happy Nurse Week to you as well.
yes, thank you.
You're welcome. And myself being a young nurse, I'm still learning, and I just want to say that don't let the diagnosis of a disease be a death sentence to anyone. And I really like your spirit, Mrs. Donna. That's what I'm trying to say. And you've given us a lot of information as it relates to multiple sclerosis. And like you said, we're happy because vision problems is one of the different signs and symptoms that one can encounter. And the fact that you're saying you're the type that they diagnose you with, because I'm not going to say yours, it doesn't belong to you, I'm not going to put it on you, that's just how I believe. I never claim sickness. That's what the doctors say. Whose report do I believe? I believe the Father's report, God Almighty. And
Mhm.
so, like you mentioned, you could have been without speech as well, because slurred speech is
Yes.
one other primary factor that one who's diagnosed with this disease would encounter as well. The dizziness, like you mentioned, and it also can affect one's sexual ability
Mhm.
and your bowel and bladder function as well.
Mhm.
As we say on this program, we're here to edify you, uplift you, enlighten you, and kind of motivate you, encourage you, to let you know that even if you may be experiencing these things, there's someone else out there who is. But this person, Mrs. Donna Davis-Nunes, listen to her, how upbeat she is. And I just want to take this time out to let all my guests in the back room here, I want you to check the private chat. There is a link on Facebook that you can use. This right here is just for our special guests, technically. So just check the private chat. There is a link. You can go to Facebook, and I will post to YouTube as well. And you can share it with your friends. And we just want to say thank you for joining us, for supporting Mrs. Donna Davis-Nunes as well. And for the mothers who I see backstage, happy Mother's Day to you. Again, to all my conquerors, new and old, established and new, happy, 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 and blessed Mother's Day. And if you are a nurse, happy Nurse Week to you as well. Live it up, live it up, live it up. Enjoy life. Life is precious. It's a precious gift. Each day we wake up and we can see, we can talk. We're sitting here having a conversation. It's a grand, grand gift. All right? It's not, it's a gift. So just make use of it. Think positive.
May I say one thing?
Go ahead. I was turning over to you. Go right ahead.
It's okay. I was a nurse for 40 years. I celebrated 40th year in Montego Bay. My group and I, we all bundled up when we went to one of the hotels and had a grand time in Montego Bay. And we still can't believe 40 years. Unreal. But yes, it's wonderful to see how we've all progressed and how far we have moved along and just loving it. And I couldn't think of another profession I would like to be in as this one. Thanks to everyone for listening, and go away, feel enriched and a little bit more knowledge with this condition, and do read. anything you see so you can have insight.
Okay, but we have some questions. We want to know. I have an idea how you feel. You're thinking of how you're living, and I'm really happy that you have family who rallies around you, or who rally around you to support you. Now, as a nurse, did you ever think that something like this would ever happen to you, being a nurse, and the do's and the don'ts, and in your own way?
Didn't cross my thoughts. No. I just live with an open book, and whatever crosses my path, I deal with it. That's how I look at it. But I never thought of multiple sclerosis.
Exactly, right. And how is your son dealing with this, knowing that he's your only child, right?
He does not express himself a lot. A boy, yes. But I know he hurts, and I know he cares, and he checks on me all the time to make sure I'm okay and that I'm not in need of anything. Yeah. But being present is not easy for him to see me going downhill. Mhm. But I teach him a few things. I said, this is what you need to learn, because if you're going to get married, you could marry someone and things can happen. Uh, and things did happen. His wife died at 28. They were young, and she has cancer, and she died. So he had a taste. I said to him, we have a good laugh, because he got me before uh, the drama started with the virus. He said, Mom, I'm taking you to California.
Yes.
And we went to California, and he got the best uh, handicap friendly place I could ever ask for. And we
Wow.
laughed about him being a widower, and I'm a widow.
Wow.
And we just giggle at things sometimes. And this is how you have to lift yourselves. You can't sit and brood. So he's doing okay with it. Yeah, doing okay.
Awesome. Awesome. And sorry to hear that he lost a wife at such a tender age as well. It
Hmm.
must be, as you said, men don't process things like us ladies do.
Hmm.
But at least I'm sure he's coping. And my saying is
Hmm.
that we all need hope to cope. And
Hmm.
where there's life, there is hope. And
Hmm.
I also want to say thank you for those of you who have joined us. I see you, Jelina's Design, Shanna K. Palm all the way in Jamaica, Elizabeth Bullock. Thank you for joining us and just participating in our comment section. And everyone, I hope that you're learning, from what our special guest is speaking about, multiple sclerosis, but not only multiple sclerosis, I will reiterate and emphasize, it's a rare type, primary multiple sclerosis. And remember, it can occur at any age. I mean, women are more likely, they say 2 to 3 times, like she said. So we're just re-emphasizing so that if you didn't get it for those who are just joining, your family history, like she mentioned, if you have a parent or a sibling who has it, you're at a higher risk, they say. And even certain diseases, like certain viruses, can be a risk factor that could lead up to MS, multiple sclerosis. For example, if anyone knows about Epstein
Bar.
exactly,
Hmm.
that could also be a risk factor. And like, there's one profound thing our special guest mentioned, that normally it's not something that was said to affect Black people or people of color. It was known to affect mostly white people, particularly those in Northern Europe or of
Hmm.
Northern Europe descent. And
Hmm.
so, we wonder sometimes what's happening. Probably, who knows, Miss Donna, you may have some white in you, in your blood.
I don't have to guess, I know.
Look at that. And how do you know, if you don't mind?
Well, I grew up with them.
Oh, you did.
I
Okay.
grew up with them. I grew up around them, and I see the family when we have kids. you don't know what shade the kids are going to come out as. And most of our families, we have one kid who is black and one kid who is very light skin.
Oh,
So it varies. And as you call Elizabeth Bullock, who sent a message there, that's my sister. And when people see us together and we say we're sisters, they're like, sisters? Oh, yes. But that's how it is. We understand what we could get. And so I stopped at one kid. I didn't want
okay.
to have another.
Okay, well, you were very thoughtful and mindful about yourself and what your child could experience. That's very s- non looking for the word here, not selfish. You were very thoughtful about the choice that you made, and
Yeah.
that's a lot of people don't really think or stop to think about results that could
Hmm.
happen like that.
Yes.
And people also should know that smokers also should be aware of many different other diseases that can happen from smoking as well. Okay,
Mhm.
so guys, we just wanted to be aware. Now, what I want to talk about, the juicy side of our story today, the creativity, the innovation, the innovator side of Mrs. Donna. Tell us about your innovative idea, the idea that came to you, and that wheelchair assistant device that you innovated as a Black woman, a Black Jamaican woman. And if you would give me the permission, because we spoke about this prior to about, what it is about the device, let me know. Go ahead.
I use a wheelchair and I find that people of different heights have problems. The tall ones, they arch over you. They're like hanging on top of you and then they have back problems trying to push you. So I created a clamp, a wheelchair clamp. It's attached to the handlebar of the wheelchair, and you can raise the handle so a tall person won't have to arch over you. And if you're shorter, then you just put the handle down and push the regular wheelchair. And I'm in the process of getting it marketed by different companies. It's not an easy process, but I'm trying. I'm working hard on it. And I'm hoping that somebody will have the same insight that I have and it will come true one day. So I won't give up because nothing happens overnight. And I'll keep working at it and see how I can make progress. And it will be something I think a lot of people would love to have if they know about it. Something you can put it should be packaged where you can put it in your carry-on. You go somewhere, you attach it if you have somebody tall pushing you. They could be sold in hotels, sold in pharmacies, sold in department stores. And I have dreams. I have
Big
dreams.
dreams. You hear,
Yeah.
guys, dream big. Look at Mrs. Donna Davis.
So,
Nunes.
so Mrs. Donna, how did the idea first come to you? Like, what ignited the dream?
Uh, just me using a wheelchair and seeing people of different height trying to push me. For example, my brother or anybody who is over 6 foot, and it's going to be a little bit stressful when they have to arch to push you. But if somebody is 5'2" and think it won't be a problem, they just go ahead and it's easy. And I thought about it and I said, there must be a way. There has to be a way. And I thought about it and I thought about it and I did my drawings and creativity and I'm trying there's a company working with me now and I hope they can make progress to help me. I have and you have to have a patent
Right.
when you create anything. My first 1 year patent is over, so I'm working on the extended patents to extend my time frame.
And that's the
So
reason why we can't really show you the video right now because of patent
yes.
reasons. Because as you know, People are watching us across the
Oh
globe.
yes.
We don't know who, but there may
Yes.
be just somebody who sees the idea. They have their money up and running and just
Uh-huh.
run with her idea. And we don't want that to happen, because a lot of times it is happening. It has happened before, where people of color, probably because of their status in life or their socioeconomic background, they have great grand ideas, creative ideas, and someone who has money heard it or seen it and they ran with it. Oh,
Yes. Yes. Because if you have money, you can get anything, anything you want. Do anything you want. Yeah. So pray for me that I will get somebody who will take me through to the end. And I see my product out there and I would be joyful.
okay, tell you, say you want to take over from it, please.
Sure, no problem. So, I wanted to ask earlier, Miss Donna, when you were saying that you enjoy going to the beach with your sister and sister-in-law, what are some other leisurely activities that you enjoy, and like what do you do to pass time sometimes?
I I do a lot of work indoors, and I do a lot of paperwork. When people ask me what do you do, I say I do a lot of paperwork. I read quite a bit. I'm always writing. I sleep with paper under my pillow because if I wake at night and I have a what I call a brilliant idea, I don't wait for the morning and then say, "Oh, I forgot." I don't want to forget. So I write. I have a lantern on my bed and I can see to write. And I like going to the park and just riding around, getting some fresh air. hmm And recently, I even stood in as power of attorney for a friend. She was buying property, and she didn't have anybody to go and sign for her to get the property. And I was taken by the realtor and made myself useful by signing the many papers. And I do help folks who are relocating. They ask questions, and I try to find answers to help them. And uh, I do make it my business to be of help to others in any way they ask. If I cannot, I refer them to someone else.
So
Wow.
you mentioned brilliant ideas. What are some of the brilliant ideas that you have?
uh, uh, well, as a property owner too, I have to keep up with things and make sure things are kept up to date. And I don't want to be a slumlord, so I make sure people are happy. And they call me at midnight, I will answer and I will get things done as soon as possible. And I just keep things in order. I like order. Um, and my son will tell you that. So he knows.
Do you think that one day there might be a miracle wherein you will wake up and just start walking, or you'll see great changes? Do you have any?
I pray every day. One day, Joan, my sister-in-law, we were leaving the house to go out, and she said, "Are you ready?" And I said, "Yes, I'm ready." And then I put one foot forward, and then I realized, oh, I need my walker. I forgot. I forgot. So you never know. One day I'll put not one foot forward, the next foot will go forward, and I dream of that day.
You
Yes.
dream. Wow. You dream of that day.
Yes.
I'm just thinking that there might be a day that you get up, like you said, because your mind, I'm sure your mind was in a great space, a positive space. You were just
Yes.
not even remembering that you use a walker, a device.
Yes.
You
I
said
forgot.
that's okay. But you also mentioned that you use various like multiple equipment. So other than
Yes.
a walker, what else are the other equipments that you use?
Like when I leave my house to go to my sister's house, uh, I push a walker to the car, and then I take my up walker that I use at her house. When I get to her house, I get on my up walker because I have to move from one walker to another walker. And then I have a stair lift that I have to use. She has upstairs. I have to use a stair lift to go upstairs to go have a shower. And I have what's called a rolling shower. And it has a seat within, and I can get in and get my own shower because I pray I don't have to wait for somebody to wash me. Right now, my right hand works well and I can wash myself. But I have stair lift, you name it, I have it all. Different types of walkers. I have about 6 wheelchairs, different types for depends on where I'm going. If I'm going to the mall, I have the slimline transport chair that can go between the clothing that they pack so tight. And then I have wider wheelchairs with the wheels that I can roll myself. And uh, just a variety of things, but I cannot do without anything. I must have something, apart
Okay.
from the times when I forget.
Okay. Now I'm gonna ask you a challenging question probably. Have you ever had a day where you could just use a cane other than
No,
a walker, or you can't? I'm just asking. I
That's
just said
that's over.
okay.
Guess what? I bought the cane for my mom. I was in the store and I said, "Oh, my mom is getting older. She's gonna need a cane."
Yeah.
And I put it in my car. And then she was with us. She passed away, and I just happened to have this cane, and I used it for a short time. And then I realized the cane could not keep me up, and then I had to go to a walker. Yes, but a cane is not enough to keep me upright.
Okay.
Mhm. Yeah.
Now, do you also watch the kinds of food you eat so as not to like put on extra weight since you're in this position? Is that
Yes.
important as well?
Very important because one, I don't want to be too wide where I can't fit in my chairs. And then my caregivers have a hard time pushing me because it's not like they're very big people. And for health reasons, I like to eat healthy stuff and small portions.
Right. What
Small
are some of the
portions.
stuff that you eat if you don't mind sharing?
Uh, I eat mainly just like if I have dinner, it will be like baked chicken and mainly soup.
Okay.
They want to give me other things beside my. I said no, no, because I don't have the appetite to eat it.
Okay.
But the soup, I they put every vegetable in the soup,
Right, right.
and then I can tolerate that. Yes,
I found myself these days starting just drinking vegetable soup, the broccoli. I put everything in it, all different kinds of vegetable and peas,
yes,
like all different kinds of beans. I would
yes,
put in it as well without
yes,
any meat. Yeah.
yes. So,
So
and
guys,
it's easy for me to get it down. It's easy for me to get it down.
right, right.
Mhm.
Wow. Now, have you ever found yourself any time without a caregiver and you need to get to somewhere in a urgent manner? Have you ever found yourself like without a caregiver at any
Uh,
time and you need help?
I have the ability to call Marta Mobility, and the mobility bus will come and get me if I need to go for an appointment or something.
Mhm.
And so far, my caregivers, one is always around,
Okay.
and so far I've not been without any.
Mhm.
And if I was, I would call Marta Mobility. Yeah.
Okay. Are
They
they
were used to me pushing my chair to get to the door of the bus, and they helped me to get on the bus. Hmm.
okay? Now I
Hmm.
know that people who are considered disabled, you know, sometimes people look at you with an eye
Mhm.
or whatever. Do you happen to encounter anything like that, and how do you deal with it?
I get very annoyed when I go to the doctors and the nurse or the doctor, whoever is taking care, is speaking to my caregiver, and I will give them a look and say, "I'm here. You can ask me. If I'm not responding correctly, then you know something is wrong. But address me. I'm the patient."
Wow. And as a
To me,
nurse, you know that
yes,
number one thing, even if the patient is blind or whatever, the
yes,
hearing is still intact. And we always, as a nurse, should address the patient, unless it's a patient who is incapacitated.
yes.
Yes. Wow.
And I'm not incapacitated because, golly, but they just look at you as being out of your mind because you're disabled
Yes.
and they don't want to speak to you. And I will look at them and say, I can speak. Ask me the questions. Oh, I get very annoyed.
Have you ever had to say that? Do you know that my profession was a nurse, or I am a nurse?
Listen, I try not to tell them. I try to stay far from that. No. But the way I respond sometimes, they will say, were you in the medical profession? Were you a nurse? So maybe the giveaway, I try to hold back, but sometimes they figure things out. Yeah. Because when I go in, sometimes, okay, I went last week, I go this week. I said, I'm not getting on the scale this week. I weighed last week, I'm the same. Okay, let's move along.
Now, do
So,
you find yourself getting agitated? So I'm going on the flip side. Do you ever
yeah.
find yourself getting agitated where you're uncooperative with your caregivers or, the doctors?
Mm, I'm cooperative only if I know that we can skip that section
Mhm.
and I figure we don't need to go there
Right.
and go to the next step. And then my sister Liz will say, how come you're telling them what to do? I said, well, I know what needs to be done. So there. Hmm.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yeah, that's what I do. It's not necessary. And if they're lagging behind, then I help to boost them, get them going.
Right.
Yeah.
So we have a lot of our viewers who are commenting, and a lot of, all of them so far are being empathetic, and I would say sympathetic, because we're not looking for pity. It's not a pity thing, but being empathetic, because we never know who it can happen to. Because, like I said earlier, sickness is no respecter of persons. And with that being said, I see Sonia Pinnock, who's in Jamaica, says, sorry to hear about your sickness, but God will carry you through. And also, okay, Dantes, you're saying that the network is poor. Is anyone else having any issues hearing us or seeing us? Let us know. Thank you for the feedback. And Karen Brown, happy Mother's Day to you. Thank you for joining and, you know, giving us your support. Elizabeth also says, thank you for sharing your story, Donna. Continue to be strong and of good courage. I admire you. And I think this is your family, your niece, Danielle Bullock. Happy
Yes.
Mother's Day, Auntie Donna. Thank you for sharing your story. And Shana K just telling all the mothers, happy Mother's Day to the great mothers. I'm listening to your story, and okay, so everything is up and running. Thank you for your feedback, Jalena's Design. Thank you so much for checking in for us. And guys, if you have any question, feel free to drop them here in the comment section for our guest Donna. I'm sure she'll be willing to answer. And as you see, she's a woman who knows what she's about. So if she doesn't feel like responding, she will honestly say so. So feel free. Any comment, any questions you want answers for, feel free. We'll try our best to answer them for you. I know today's Mother's Day, and a lot of people may be out. I don't know how much of that, because I know some places are still under kind of tight curfew lockdown kind of thing as it relates to what's going on in the world today. But nonetheless, happy Mother's Day once again from Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. And today is officially the day that I am going to hand over that gift to Kamika Beckford, our special guest that we had last night on our pre-Mother's Day show. We will be giving her 250 US dollars towards the funeral and the children that Anna Kay passed and left behind, four beautiful girls. So we're handing over that to her. We're not going to say donating. And that is on behalf of three different entities. That is on behalf of Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, Touching Lives with Ambassador Maxine Gordon, and Daniela, Prophetess Daniela Smith with her youth ministry on the grounds in Jamaica. So Daniela is doing a great job in Jamaica. She's helping to feed the poor. You know, she's delivering the message that God gives her as she's led and all of that. So we are very much grateful that we are in a capacity where we can help and give back. And the great thing that I admire about you, Donna, is the fact that you also said earlier that there are people who will reach out to you and you will try your best to assist them by edifying them or giving them, directing them to resources if you don't have it. And look at you in your condition, one would say, oh, she can't help. But like you said, even with the encounter with you going to the doctor, and they're talking to your caregiver, not knowing that yes, you can speak. Never look down on anyone, even in their so-called lowest point. Never look down on anyone. Just imagine you, if it was you, you want to be treated as how you would like someone to treat you, right? Am I speaking the truth here?
You speak in truth. Yes, very good. And it's very. I love that people are open and able to express themselves. And I prefer somebody ask me. If I see someone staring at me, I will say to them, "Go ahead and ask me. I don't mind. You can talk to me."
Wow.
And I explain what is happening. And most people think I had a stroke. I said, "No, I didn't have a stroke," and
Yeah.
because they don't know.
Right, because the signs and symptoms are really similar to
Yes.
what you're going through. So, guys, again, some of the risk factors I will reiterate is that uh, it can happen at any age. Check your family history. Women are mostly targeted. The climate also, they say, and the reason why the climate, for example, in New Zealand and those North European areas, like we mentioned before, those were the people of like Asian descent, not Asian, white people, European descent. They would have been the ones who would be seen with diagnosis like these and not Black people. Now, vitamin D is very, very, very important. I forgot to stress that in any form of health issues, vitamin D, and especially for us people of color, Black people, they always say that our vitamin D levels are the lowest. I guess I don't know if this is because of the strength of our melanin. The sun doesn't penetrate us so easily, the dark pigmentation, whatever. But, sunlight is very important, guys. And I'm not talking or telling you to go out in the midday sun heat, early morning, evening time. Try to get some sun rays, sunlight, going so that your skin can absorb some natural vitamin D. So always make sure that you have the vitamin D levels checked as well. Low levels could be a risk to any kind of disease. But in this case, we're speaking about MS, multiple sclerosis, certain autoimmune diseases as well. I mean, you can correct me if I'm not, because you're a nurse, you're a senior nurse for me, Miss Donna. So if I'm saying
You're doing very well. You're doing super.
that doesn't sound right, thank you so much. You can back me up, and I thank you for that. And being a mom, I salute you. I lift my hat off to you. So guys, watch the risk factors. Now, once you have it, you heard she mentioned that the muscles get weak, the myelin sheet is
Shredded.
ruptured. Right. So with that being said, there's no covering for these areas. So, with that being said, the pain that comes with it, the weakness, the connection between the muscle and the brain, it is interfered with. And in her case, it's pitchy patchy, different places. It's not like you can say this particular area or that particular area. It's all over the place. And some of the signs and symptoms could be fatigue. So you're always feeling weak, sleepy, whatever, just lethargic. Slurred speech, and like she mentioned, someone may have looked at her like she has stroke, because one side of you gets weak when you have stroke. And the dizziness, tinglings, paresthesia, tinglings in different parts of your body. And it could also affect your sexual ability, bowel and bladder functionings, and all of that.
Because when I finish here, I go straight to my bed and I will sleep. You would think it's midnight.
Right.
Mrs.
Go ahead, Talisa.
Mrs. Donna, earlier you mentioned that you had restless legs.
Yes.
Is that a symptom of the MS, or is it that when once you fell down at work and then when you went to the hospital you knew something was kind of wrong?
No, for years I suffered with what the doctors called restless legs. They don't know what causes restless legs. And now I'm educating my neurologists too, because they said if they have patients who come in with restless legs, they're going to do tests to see if it's MS, because they weren't associating both.
Right.
So I'm teaching not only my peers, I'm teaching doctors also. And as I said, I'm with my I'm not with, I have 3 neurologists, and all 3 are taking care of me and doing things for me, because when one cannot help in a certain situation, the second one, the third one. And right now, the third one is one who has helped me to get rid of the pain, the severe pain I have at night. Pain that I'm climbing the roof. That's how bad it gets. And
Yeah.
the third neurologist is helping me. So then when I go back and I share, this is what is helping me, the drug you gave me. So and these are drugs not for MS patients. These are drugs for different other conditions, Parkinson's disease, or so many other different things. But it's helping me. So they're understanding now that, oh, I can use the same drug for people with MS who complain of certain conditions. So I'm a teacher also.
Right. And it's also great to have a patient-doctor relationship. It's always great to have a great rapport with whoever is taking care of you. And it's also great to know that your caregivers, including doctors, nurses, etc., they are willing to learn from you, because some people believe that, oh, because I'm a doctor, who are you to be educating me? So it's great to have that patient doctor nurse relationship, that therapeutic communication, as you know, Nurse Donna, is very, very important, because you have to know your patient, you have to know the culture of your patient, you have to know who your patient is, as well as vice versa. And with that, they all come together and make a great bond, guys. So always try to communicate, because one thing I always tell people, when you go to the doctor, you have some doctors, and I'm not bashing anyone, this is just my experience, could be yours.
Facts are facts.
Thank you so much. They try to rush you. They come and you're talking to them, and all they're doing is paying attention to that cow, which is a computer on the wheel. You're wondering are you listening to me, not just hearing me? And they're trying to rush to get to the other patient. And sometimes you're sitting there waiting for even an hour. You have an appointment time at 3:00, and they don't come and see you until 4:30. And when they come, they want to leave by 4:40. No, you're not going to, doctor. Not so quick. I got a lot of questions for you.
No, they know me. When I go in, first thing I say, I'm not here to spend the day. I need to be seen. This is the time I was given. I need to be seen. And when I go in, I have my notebook, I have my pen, and I have my questions written there. I don't want to leave and say, oh, I forgot to ask the doctor this. No. And when they say anything, I write, and they know me. I'm always writing.
Exactly.
Also, a viewer has a question for you, Miss Donna. I don't know if you've seen it on the screen. They were asking if MS affects any age group, and they also asked if you had taken a fall, as you mentioned earlier.
Uh, the primary progressive that I have is usually it affects men and women, mainly women, and it's usually over age 40. The relapse and remitting can start, you have teenagers who have relapse and remitting MS. So it varies, it just depends. And uh, no, the fall I had was I'd reached the bottom when nobody could tell what was wrong, and I was going to get a patient, and I said, thank God I didn't have the patient. I would, because it's daycare at day surgery I used to work in, so we walk back with the patient. Can you imagine me walking back with the patient and the nurse falls? No, that wouldn't look good. So before I went out to get the patient, I fell. And everybody came, looked around, nothing on the floor. My laces were tied, fine. And they just whizzed me off the emergency room. And they said, can't do anything for you. So then they just whizzed me to my neurologist that I was seeing. And for years, they thought my iron level was low. No, it was not. No,
Wow.
I
Wow.
needed to have more tests done instead of just blood tests. Blood tests was not enough.
Hmm.
Mhm.
Can you say that one more time, that little part, that little last part, please?
About when I fell,
No, when they were saying that your iron was
my
very low.
level was low. They said my iron level was low. It was not my iron level, but that's what they had to find something to say. So they had me on iron. I was on iron for 2 years. Think of if I'd started some kind of medication. There's no medication for primary progressive, I must say. None. All the 12, 13 meds, they're for people with relapsing, remitting um, MS. And it's only recent, like a couple of years, they have a new drug which is on trial, and I'm in that group. And it's for people with what it does, it's supposed to stop the disability. The rate at which a disability occurs is supposed to reduce the rate. So it doesn't say I will not get further down, but it's going to just hold me at a certain point. I have a friend with primary progressive, and she's in bed. So nothing moves except one finger on her right hand that she uses to text me.
Hmm.
But unfortunate for her, she went downhill. Yeah.
Wow.
And if I go downhill, guess what? I'm just going to be like her. I want to be like her. She is so upbeat. She is positive, and she's just exciting to be around. We chit chat, we laugh, and we have a good time. hmm So we don't focus on the negative part.
Right.
Because if not, you're just going to meet each time and be crying each time. We have our pity party. Who doesn't have a pity party? So you have your pity party, you get over it, and then you laugh and you move on until.
Yes, right. Not to dwell and wallow in it all day, every day.
No, no, no. Mm-mm, mm-mm. I don't. But I'm so happy to share with everybody, and I hope everyone goes away with some uh, kind of knowledge and be a little bit more informed, and you'll be able to say, well, speak with someone who has multiple sclerosis. You can say, oh, what type do you have? And ask them questions. Ask them, what drug are you on? Yeah, I'm on Ocrevus. You might have seen Ocrevus advertised on TV. It's brand new. That is to help me from not going down any further.
Mhm.
And it's an infusion that I get it's twice per year, infusion twice per year. So I go in and I spend a day and they infuse the drug and they observe me before I go home. And then and so far I have not had any side effects, thank God. Yeah.
All right. Wow. Let me ask you, with insurance, because we're trying to cover as many points as we're discussing, this issue with health, where health is concerned, our health story today. Does insurance take care of most of your expenses? If not, how do you manage to,
I'm on Medicare and United Healthcare, and yes, they pay for most things. And sometimes if I get a bill, I did an MRI recently, and I got a bill, and I'm like, how can I have Medicare paying 80% and United Healthcare paying 20%? In my days when I went to school, 80 and 20
equals 100? The last time I checked as well.
How come is this new math? New math is different. And I get a bill. So when I get a bill, I go to Shepherd Hospital. Most people won't know Shepherd Spinal Hospital in Atlanta. And I take the bill in and I say, I can't pay this. And they help me.
Yes,
Yeah.
because a lot of people don't know. I'm going to put it out there just in case, and it's not for you to exploit the system. This is just a little token I'm going to drop here. And you can say you heard it from the Queen Cleopatra here on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. If you go to the hospital and let's say you get that exorbitant bill and your insurance is not able to cover it 100%, and you can pay whatever you can, but you really and truly, and remember, I'm emphasizing, you really and truly and honestly can't pay the rest of it. What you can do is go into the financial office at the hospital and let them know that right now you're not able to, because what happened, most of these public hospitals, they do have what is called a charity system, where they get money from people in the community from different charities that will help people like you or me if I can't pay the balance of a hospital bill. So as for it not to go on your credit, to mess up your credit, especially if you're still looking to buy your home, your dream car. And in the same breath, I just want to say, if you know anyone who has any credit issues or want to get their buying power back, this queen right here also does financial literacy consultancy, which is FREE, free. So you can check out my page on Instagram. There is a link in the bio. The Instagram hanger is Cleopatra_C_conquers. Again, Cleopatra_C_conquers. And I'm on Facebook, A Coward Conquers Financial Literacy. So if you need to get your buying power back, check me out as well. I will help you with that. But as I said, if you have difficulty paying your bills, you can go to the financial office at the hospital. Don't call them. I would say go in person, because sometimes people over the phone, they can act like they own the business and the money is coming from their pockets. And sometimes when you have a face-to-face, it's better to see who you're talking to, and they can see who they're talking to, and
Yes.
ask them to have charity to pay for that bill for you. It is possible. It can be done. And I know they may look like and tell you that, what are you talking about? But just be persistent and tell them that they know what you're talking about. And if they don't know, get you someone who knows about it. It is there for you to help you if you really and truly need help. All right, guys. So I hope that was.
May I say one more thing? The
Yeah.
MS Society does a lot for people. Multiple Sclerosis Society. They help me with my chairlift. They help me with my rolling shower. And you just have to write and ask to them. You have the MS Foundation and the MS Society, and they're very helpful.
So the MS Foundation and Society, right?
And Society, they're very helpful. Yes.
Okay.
So they have helped me a lot, because I wouldn't have money to buy a chairlift. They're not cheap. And to get a rolling shower, not cheap. I find nothing for the handicap is cheap. It's very expensive. I just got an accessible van, and I'll be paying till I leave this earth.
Wow.
Just for that. Yeah. So it has a little platform that comes out where I can ride into the van and everything. But I just do what I need to do, and where I can get help, I take the help.
Okay. So there you have it, guys. Miss Donna is also giving you information. If you know someone who needs help, don't keep that information to yourself. That's what we're trying to have people change their mindset. Don't think about money, money, money all the times. If you have information, if you've been through it and you know the steps, and you know someone who's going through it and doesn't even, they're ignorant, they don't know where to go for the information, be a like helping hand. You know, give someone that information. It's not every time it's all about money, guys, because you would see how God blesses you without you even realizing it, effortlessly. So that's what we're about. And I had a question I wanted to ask you, Miss Donna, but is there anything that you want to say in the meantime while I try to get my thoughts back together? Is there anything?
I'm in a support group. I'm with a support group where I meet others with MS, and we give, uplifting words, and we get together, we chit chat, have a cookie or two, and um, try to stay healthy. Kale cookie. Ha.
That sounds new to me.
You can do anything you want, yes, but it's it's a very close knit community. And when I go to like Shepherd Hospital,
Yes.
God, I feel like I'm in a different world, and I think, oh, there's somebody like me. There's somebody like me. You don't feel strange
Right. And
because and they're just whizzing around in their chairs, and
like
you just
nobody's business.
no, you have to be out of the way.
Yes.
And just one thing on when you put with primary multiple, it's primary progressive multiple sclerosis,
Okay.
because you do have secondary progressive multiple sclerosis, but mine is primary progressive, where it starts and just go downhill.
Aggressive.
Boom.
Right.
Yes. So that's it. Did your thoughts come back together?
That was actually the question I was going to ask you, if you have a group. That's why I was like this. That was the actual, because when you were talking earlier, I was like, I'm wondering if you have a support group, because people, our audience need to know that when you have certain kinds of diseases going through that, support group is what helps you if you don't have family and friends around. When you go around and you mingle with like people, like she mentioned, you see,
Mm-hmm.
oh, someone
Mm-hmm.
is like me. You feel more hope to cope. You know what
Yes.
I'm saying? So
Yes.
that was
Yes.
exactly the thing I wanted to ask,
Yes.
and you just brought it out.
Yes.
But again, Miss Donna, I admire you. I admire your strength, your courage, your boldness to come on here. And I just want to say thank you, Anthony. How your siblings, when they learned of you being diagnosed, how did they react towards this?
Everybody's stunned. Everybody's stunned, and they just go along with it because of how I've accepted it myself and how I've dealt with it.
Yeah,
So it's easier for them to deal with it because of how I handle things. Yeah.
right. I mean,
Yes.
was there anyone who started to worry and say, I wonder if it's gonna happen,
No, 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 not in within my hearing.
Okay.
Not with, and I told them it's not something you can catch. It's not anything that, it just happens. And we don't know of anybody in the family ever. I'm the first one, and I just say to them always, if you go to the doctor, especially my son, and you're filling out forms, you make sure you tell them your mom has multiple sclerosis. It's not something that runs in the family. It happens, and they don't know cause. Hmm.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. So I'm sure we dropped a lot of nuggets, a lot of information. Miss Donna came on here boldly to share her story, and not only just to come and share her story, but to educate the mass of, honing your health. That's my tagline for my Monday shows on Facebook as well. I said, I'm using my nursing capabilities and skills to give back information to people. It may sound silly to someone, but if you should stop and listen, you may learn a thing or two that you've never even heard from your doctors before. Because I want you guys to know that when a lot of patients go in and they have communication with their doctors, sometimes they don't even understand the big words. And that's why, as medical representatives, we have to come down to our patients' terms level so that you can understand the MS, or what is MS, multiple sclerosis, what is it? break it down so the patient can understand. But what I was trying to say is a lot of patients, when the doctor speaks to them, they don't even hear one thing, and they will say, "Nurse, what did the doctor say?" So we as nurse, we have to re-educate, pass on the information in a way where the patient understands. So that's our purpose as well. We're not doctors, we have to act in our scope, but that happens oftentimes. But I hope that today you learned a lot. And as always, we would like for you to come back. If it's your first time watching us, this is what we do and more. And we have collaborated with other ladies because the group's name, Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, it has to do with ladies. We're trying to empower each other, coming together more and doing it with, honesty, integrity, transparency, and genuinity, because it doesn't happen every day, and we're trying to break that cycle. So if you have not yet followed us and liked us, subscribe to us, please do. We're not doing it for likes or anything, but it's to get the mass out there to know about us, the things we're doing. We're edifying you, we're invigorating you, we're enlightening you, motivating you, everything, inspiring you, so that you know that you're not out there by yourself. We care. Share if you care, because someone needs to hear. And with that being said, we thank you for watching and listening to us. Do come back next week. It's every Sundays, 4 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Do the math where you are. And you are listening to the Queen Cleopatra on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. You know what? I want to say this to you. You could have been elsewhere, but you chose to be with us here on Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring. And for you, Miss Donna, oh my God.
Well, a good note I will leave you all on.
Yes.
I travel, and I travel by myself sometimes, and everybody marvel. I said to them, my brain works, my mouth works, I can hear. I get to the airport, I say to my caregivers, just leave me. And I direct them, they take me to the desk, I show my passport, I go where I'm going, and I go visit my friends down in Florida. And they're shocked that I come alone. I get to the hotel and I stay at the hotel, and I come downstairs, I have breakfast, and they come to get me, and they're like, how did you get down here? I'm like, I make things happen. Have my breakfast and I'm ready, and I wait for them, and they just happy to have me.
Wow, remarkable, and showing how independent you are. You're not dependent,
And shows how strong the brain is.
Exactly. Yes. You have that will, that strong willpower. That's what it is. That strong willpower. And I love it, Miss Donna. I love it. Now, before we go, we normally also end in prayer. But before we go, I just want to re-highlight your great innovation with that wheelchair handler thing that can assist people, especially taller people, when they having to push a wheelchair with someone in a wheelchair, especially if someone is weighted too. It's not easy. Can we just go back over that, re-highlight that, please?
What I'm going to do, I'm going to try to get somebody to, I know the company is doing what they're doing, but I'm going to try and get somebody local to make me the handle, and I can put it on my wheelchair and demonstrate and show it otherwise. That's what I'm planning to do, because it's just a bar attached to the handle of the wheelchair. You can turn it down if you don't need it. Just push the wheelchair. If you need it, you push it up. Okay. And then the tall person can push the top bar. Yeah.
So with that being said, sounds like we're going to have a part 2 with you, Miss Donna.
Yes.
We will be happy to have you back on our space. Thank you for gracing our space with your presence. Talisa, sorry about that, my darling. So we're about to close. Any final words to our guests as well as our viewers?
Okay.
And and most of all, did you learn anything today?
Yes, because I didn't know that there were different or you say different types of MS or stages, such as types such as the primary progressive and the secondary progressive. Right. Message to Miss Donna. I don't even have to say continue to stay strong because without me, you're going to stay strong regardless. Positive, always on the bright side, and I admire that. So continue doing what you're doing. I hope that someday a miracle does happen where we just get up and you can walk far distances and as well as short distances. And to our guest, I also hope you guys were able to learn something. I saw viewers asking questions. I hope you guys are able to understand better what MS is and how it might affect a person. And I just want to say again, happy Mother's Day to all the mothers out there and all those who lost a child. I hope you guys are staying strong.
Awesome, Talisa. Awesome. And again, from myself, Miss Donna, happy Mother's Day again. Happy Mother's Day to all you super moms, all my conquerors who are moms, who have to be playing the double role. I'm not going to say that you're a dad because you will never replace the dad's role, but you have to, play the mother and the father for your children and being relentless with it. I mean, I'm sure that you have trial days that are filled with trials and temptations, but just stay steadfast, stay focused. Remember God. If you feel like you're feeling depressed, even if you're going through with a sickness, just take some time out, go by the beach, go by some areas where you hear the birds, just enjoy nature and get back to focus. Just say, God, please help me. I give up. Whatever. Find a friend, find a focus group, find a support group, or family members who are supportive, a friend or pastor, somebody who will even just sit, listen to you, who will cry with you, laugh with you. Find somebody. I know that many people nowadays are so phony and fake, whatever, and they're just there to know your business or whatever, but just find somebody. Pray to God to send you help from the sanctuary. And with that being said, we thank you again, Miss Donna, for joining us, and we're looking forward to talk to you again in the future with your innovative idea, more focusing on your innovative idea. So again, we thank you for watching us, and you can now go back to your busy schedule for those who are enjoying their Mother's Day and took time out just to come check us out. And we will close off in prayer. So Father God, today we just want to give you thanks and praise, and knowing that you are God and there's no one above you. There's nothing great or too small for that you can't do. And we thank you for Donna. She was diagnosed with primary progressive multiple sclerosis, but just listen to her story. She's still upbeat, she's vivacious, she's vibrant, she's giving you thanks, and she's holding strong, knowing that and believing that one day she will just get up and just be the right foot or left foot, whichever one goes first, the other one will follow, and her gait will be so strong like nothing ever happened before. And Miss Donna, we place you in the blessings and the love of Christ, because he is your father and he will never leave you alone. And thank God, that you have the support around you, people who understand you. And I pray that even your doctors and nurses will be great ones continuously, that they will also have a great rapport with you. And to our viewers, for anyone who is ailing or going through depression, whatever sickness, just call upon Christ if you believe, and just put your trust in him. Have faith knowing that, and believe. Think about positivity, and one day you will just be surprised to know that he does work miracles. Father God, we give you thanks. Father God, even despite the chaos, the noise, just help us to remember you, that you are God and there's nothing above you. Continue to bless us, even this platform, touching lives, every the youth program that others, Daniela, Resurrected Garvey, all of those people who are out there helping people, giving a lending hand, because someone, where there is life there is hope. You just need hope to cope. And remember, Jeremiah 29:11 says, for I know the thoughts that I have for you, my children, thoughts of peace and not of evil, but to give you a future and a hope. And today, Father God, we ask you to take control. Help us to surrender to you and take control of us, oh God. Lead us in our path, that we will walk, and we will just give you all the praise and the glory, because nothing belongs to us. We are nothing without you. And Father God, continue to bless us. And for those who are not saved, those who are still lost, I pray that they will seek your face and they will find you. You said, knock and it shall be open. Ask, and it shall be given. Seek, and you will find. And so today, God, we ask you to have your own way, and I pray that your love will be in our hearts, and we know that your love is sufficient for us. Continue to strengthen us. Iron sharpens iron, and for even us women, we must just continue to come together in one unity and accord, in spirit and in truth. And with that being said, Lord, we give you thanks. We give you thanks, and we thank you for hearing us. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. So I just want to say thank you all again. And if you're new, please come back. Please come back. We have something for you. Thank you so much, Elizabeth, and everyone who participated today, whether it be a question or just a statement encouraging our special guest, Miss Donna. Happy Nurse Week to those of you nurses who have to be doing the do, especially this time, going hard, doing the overtime and going above and beyond. And just remember, be compassionate towards your patient. Therapeutic communication works. Don't forget. All right, guys. Anything else you have to say to Lisa?
No, nothing else.
All right. Miss Donna?
Thanks to everyone for listening. And don't forget, we can all be patients at different times. So think of it that way.
Exactly. So, Looney, I just want to shout you out. I also want to shout out some people. I just want to say Diani, Angela, Miss Joyce Gowdy, Dr. Carlin Graham. And these are people who, I know them. I'm bigging up everybody. My mother, she's vacationing in Kansas. I spoke to her early. Miss Polly, big up yourself. Happy Mother's Day. My sisters, happy Mother's Day. All the people I know, friends and associates, happy Mother's Day. But I just wanted to shout out a few people. I'm not trying to leave anyone out, but those people, they've made great impact in my life, and I just wanted to highlight them. And Michelle, big up yourself, all right? So it's Ladies Uplifting and Inspiring, and we will see you next Sunday. Just watch out. We're going to have another special guest right here, same time, same place. Peace out, guys.
Take care. Bye-bye.